We would be the dumbest people in the world if at this point in our lives we did not literally sit down and have a prenup conversation. So conversations we hate having, that we need to have. And for me, I had to find the right person to have the conversation with, and she's Rose Mbanya, family lawyer. Anybody who knows me has ever asked me for a family lawyer, I've sent you to Rose. I have. So I need to ask you, in view of the conversations we've had, marriage is a contract, there are no gray areas in law, and also the 50-50 rule on matrimonial property.
Yes.
Are we finally in the place where we need to start talking about prenups?
Absolutely. In fact, the law provides for it expressly.
I didn't know that.
It does. You know, the Matrimonial Property Act, as it defines what matrimonial property is, it also, there is a section in there, section 6, and it talks about parties before marriage getting into an agreement that defines what their, what their stake in the properties that they will have or already have will be like. So yes, the law now provides for prenuptial agreements. And interestingly, whereas it is a good agreement to have because it makes things very, very clear.
True.
Yeah, at the time, well, if things work well, then that's fine. But if things go sometimes the way they will and there is need for distribution or division of that property, then you go back to the prenup and you look at it, and nobody has to have a fuss about anything. It's clear.
It's clear.
A lot of times people say, getting into the prenup makes it look like you're predetermined that this is not going to last. You're getting in, but just making precaution that at some point it's going to end. But I wouldn't look at it that way. I look at it more as helping one another in that journey, because if things do go badly, as they will sometimes, then none of you will have that bitter fight.
Yeah, you always hope for the best, but you plan.
You plan as well.
Yes.
Yeah, you plan, because when things get to a head, then again, you have a document that you can pull out, and in a very civil manner, this is what we said. But important to note for a prenup, it is before the marriage.
It's a prenup.
That's why it's a
prenup.
Yes.
But we're a very young country. I mean, we're just a little over 50 years old. And I guess, my homework to yourself and, members of the legal fraternity, what put the Western world in that space that required it almost to be something you think about, whether you're a woman who comes from money or a man who comes from money. And this has never been about, from what I understand, it is really not about, I'm trying to keep what's mine so that utoke vilo likuja. It's literally about ensuring that we don't have acrimony.
Yes. I think it's just really that the years, as you said, we're a young republic,
very young nation.
Exactly. Yes. But as you can see, we've not actually put it into our law as something that should be very much considered by people as you go into marriage, because it will even reduce the backlog, surely, in the courts. It makes it very, very clear.
This is where we're at.
And then again, it's also important because we're a society that invariably people are getting married later and later in terms of years. So people will have acquired property by the time they go in. It was a little different earlier.
When you get married at 20.
At 18, at 19, at 20.
You will definitely build together.
Exactly. Yes. But that's not the case now. So there is that fact. There's also the fact of inheritance.
Yes.
Yeah. You inherit something. Does that constitute matrimonial property? Of course, the correct interpretation of the law is that no, it does not.
No.
However, after you inherit and then you bring me in as your spouse, and I make developments on that property, then to the extent that development has been made, if I put up another house there, then yes, we'll get into the conversation of matrimonial property and what my contribution.
What actually goes into the pool, so to speak. And what remains out.
So you can imagine if you have a prenup and you've cleared up all of those things, maybe you're getting married at an older age. You had a house, you had a plot somewhere. You've put it very clearly. You've put it clearly in fact, including the 1, 2, and 3, will be mine alone.
Yes.
One will be for the children that we get together. If we don't get children together, again, it will be mine. 3 can be yours. You know, just
we're
outline,
also living in a world of blended families.
True.
Yes. Because as people literally, as unions dissolve, people take new unions. So people come into relationships with, I come with 2, he comes with 2 children. I mean, come on, it's necessary.
It's so
we would be
necessary,
the dumbest people in the world if at this point in our lives we did not literally sit down and have a prenup conversation.
You know, the prenup conversation is the same conversation that people have to have about wills.
And
it doesn't mean that when you do your will, you're going to die. It also doesn't mean that when you do your prenup, you're going to divorce.
Yes.
No, it just makes things, your intentions clear.
And especially when, you came with a child into the marriage, what does this mean also for the children?
Yeah, you've got to settle issues.
We've got to settle issues. So I know, I'm sure you're all sitting there saying, we're not ready for that and it's a horrible conversation.
No, it's
I
important.
have to broach the subject, because if I don't, we will find ourselves with more crazy headlines, but also lawyers who are shaking their heads saying, doesn't anybody know what they're doing anymore?
I know,
but actually, to be fair, we're a very young nation.
It's true.
When I think about how young we are as a country, we have yet to go through a lot. We've done well, but we have a long way to go.
True.
With a lot of things, just even writing wills.
I know.
Yeah.
I know, everybody's just
Can you tell how quiet
we
we get when we realize somebody has made it clear, I need to be cremated? We're like,
it goes against the grain.
We're like, wow, really? Yes. Okay, so like I said, the conversations we need to have, but we don't want to have. And then my big one for Rose, and I'm happy to put it at the end of this video so you can come back. Maintenance, child maintenance in the case a union of whatever nature goes awry. That has always, family court handles it very well.
Yes.
But I find that we are in new ground where a woman is not looking for monetary support, but wants the father engaged with his children. Hold that, because if there's homework I gave Rose, it's that one. That was homework.
Okay.
Yeah.